Frankie Cronenberg wrote in thinking about phone banking for Biden, but don't know what to say. And then adds, if we win the Senate, Bernie chairs the budget committee. If Trump wins, it won't matter. Now that's interesting. I don't know that that's true. I can't imagine the Democratic leadership would allow anyone, any progressive, to chair a committee. So let's talk about that in this context, Ryan, in two ways. One is, do you think that Bernie would have a prayer of chairing the budget committee if they really took the Senate? And two is, if Richie Neal gets knocked out, Lloyd Doggett is in line to become chair of the Ways and Means Committee, the most powerful committee that controls the money in the House. He's more of a progressive, and I don't think they'll let that stand. And so I'm curious what your take on that is.
So, and this is where the high school or middle school House politics start to come into play too. So Lloyd Doggett is, like you said, he's second in line. Seniority is close to everything in the House of Representatives, particularly when it comes to chairmanships. But Lloyd Doggett doesn't really play that well with others. It's not because of his politics. You can be a lefty that is well liked by every Nazi in the chamber. You can be a corporate Democrat like Josh Gottheimer, who all the other corporate Democrats despise. Just like the personalities matter in the House of Representatives, and how well you play with others, just on a social level. And Doggett has struggled to form like the kind of relationships that would now be valuable to him if Morse can come back and knock Neal out and create an opening in the Ways and Means chairmanship. Now that doesn't mean that he's out of it, because politics is going to play probably an equal role. It's sad that it wouldn't be the most important factor in what is ultimately a political decision. But then you're going to have Ron Kind, Mike Thompson, Linda Sanchez, are all interested in this in that seat. Sanchez going forward for it would be amazing, because I don't know if two people hate each other in the House of Representatives more than Linda Sanchez and Nancy Pelosi. And so Nancy Pelosi would do everything in her power, not for political reasons, just because she doesn't like Linda Sanchez, to prevent her from getting that gavel. And that might weirdly lead Pelosi to say, you know what, let's just do Doggett, because Doggett's not Linda Sanchez. So the House is such a weird place that those kinds of personal dynamics, come into play so significantly. Bernie in the Senate is well liked. Despite being kind of a cantankerous old grandpa, people like him for that. And he's a team player over in the Senate. He's a member of Chuck Schumer's leadership, even though he's not a Democrat by name. He's a member of the Democratic caucus. He's chaired the budget committee before, and hired Stephanie Kelton and Matt Stoller as his staffers back then. So he certainly could be in line for a chairmanship again if Democrats retook the Senate.
Yeah, well, so it's going to be really interesting to watch, because I don't believe Democratic leadership will ever let a progressive run an important committee until Democratic leadership is defeated. So I have the weight of evidence on my side. Pete Stark was in line to lead one of the most important committees. I forget which one exactly. I don't know.
I think it was the Health Subcommittee.
Yeah. So. And Pete Stark was a wonderful progressive, and there was no question, no dispute. He was the most senior, everything, all completely lined up. And Pelosi was like, no. My rule about seniority? Just kidding, doesn't apply. Pete Stark's a no good liberal, and they torpedoed him, and they ended him. So they're not gonna let Lloyd Doggett. That's the House Ways and Means Committee. That controls all the money. No way I'd be shocked. I'd be floored. And by the way, Ryan, the only reason I believe you that Lloyd Doggett doesn't get along with people is because it's you. If any other reporter told me, I'd say I don't believe it, because every time a progressive gets screwed, they're like, oh, what? I mean, there was the personality, the Howard Dean in 2004. He's a weirdo, right? Now that he's a corporate Democrat, oh, Howard Dean's wonderful, right? And so I've seen this movie 1,000 times, right? But since you're saying it, I believe it, and so that might present an issue. But even so, it's more likely that it'll be used as an excuse,
right?
But one thing you said that's really interesting to me that I didn't know is Linda Sanchez and Pelosi having not liking each other. So what is that about? Why don't they like each other?
You know, I've asked a lot of people about that, and nobody quite knows, including, as far as I know, them themselves. It's they're both from California, as you know. California politics are eccentric and ugly and personal.
Oh.
And there may well be some issue, that goes back years and years in California politics. Her sister Loretta lost to Kamala Harris from the right, in a Senate election, if you remember that.
Yep.
I doubt that has much to do with it. So nobody can quite tell what precisely triggered this heated animosity between the two. It's not really political in the sense that their respective places on the political spectrum are within spitting distance of each other. So it's not that. So it's kind of anybody's guess, but it's one of those things where it almost doesn't matter what the root cause of it is. It has never been healed, and Sanchez kind of formed. If you remember, she kind of joined with those clowns that tried to block Pelosi from the right in 2018 from being speaker. What they call themselves, the problem solvers or something idiotic. So she linked up behind the scenes with them. Pelosi knows that, but they already hated each other at that point. So it's not like that was the thing that severed the relationship, but certainly that puts it kind of past the point of no return, particularly for somebody like Pelosi, who is said to be retiring in 2 years. She has no real motivation to bury hatchets. She can just take all of her hatchets with her to retirement.
I don't believe she's going to retire either. So
well, there's that too. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's said that she is retiring. Right.
Let's put it this way: Pelosi is to the gavel as Charlton Heston is to his rifle. Right. Okay, I'll just leave it at that.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.